Welcome to our analytics beginner capsule. Today we're going to discuss adding widgets, resizing widgets, and even adding some titles and labels to this system report that we just created. So let's get into it. Let's do a bit of customizing here. Really excited to show this to you. Let's get started. Now, if I ever want to edit anything inside of a report, I need to click the edit button here in the top right-hand corner, like so. And it'll allow me to start editing, and I've officially entered what we call edit mode on this report. If you don't see the edit button, it may mean that you don't have access to edit this report. Maybe it's a report you don't own, or it's a system report, and as seen in the previous video, you need to either duplicate it or create it from a template. The first thing I want to talk about is resizing widgets. Maybe I want to make some of these widgets bigger. So, for example, once we enter edit mode, you will have the option now when you go over the title of a widget, and you'll see it by your mouse appearing in such a way that you can start dragging this around. You'll notice that it'll snap into place because there is a snapping feature to help keep things organized. So if I wanted to make this bigger, I would suggest just dragging it to the left. You can grab now this little triangle that will appear in the bottom right-hand corner when you hover over. You can see that little black triangle there just below my mouse. And if I hover over it, I'll get this mouse icon with the two arrows, and I'll be able to start resizing my widget. So maybe I want it to be as long as the top. I could bring it over like this, drag it down a bit, and I'm just holding my mouse button. And when I'm done, let go of the mouse button, and it'll snap into place like so. Maybe I want to remove a widget. Maybe I don't really think this communications created by email is relevant. So again, just ensure you're in edit mode, and if you wanted to remove a widget from this report template or from any report you're able to edit, you can use the three-dot menu here. Click on it, and right at the bottom, you have the option to remove. And if you click that, it'll remove the widget. Now that I show you how to remove widgets, maybe you're asking, well, how do I add them? Well, let me show you. If you wanted to add a widget to this report, it's as simple as just clicking the green add button here. And if we click on it, it'll give us a quick menu. We'll have the option to choose an existing widget that the system or another user has created. We can create our own widget. We can add a label or a page break, which we'll get into in just a quick minute. I prefer a different way of adding widgets because if you use this option, it will just add it right here in the bottom left-hand corner under this widget, for example. If you wanted to be a little more accurate, we have the option to actually hover under some widgets to add and click a similar menu. And if we were to click choose widget, it would fill in this box here. I prefer to use this method. It's a lot more accurate. It gets the widget to exactly where you want it. And if you have a blank space here, like where we deleted that last widget, you may even have the option to add directly to the report if you do see a box like this. And if I click the add button, again, it's the exact same menu. So to summarize, you have the option available to you at the top, but it's much better to use these lines that will appear under or above widgets. Or if you see a blank space, most likely there will already be a box there for you to fill in as well. These are better, more accurate, gets the widget exactly where you need it. Let's see an example of that right now. I can add a widget by clicking here and clicking choose widget. And I have a list of thousands of widgets, maybe it's hundreds, but there's a lot. And I could go to another report, and if I see a widget that I like, I could just search the name up here and click add. Let me show you. So here I am at another system report. Maybe I really like this communications per creation user widget, and I want to add it to the report that we were working on before. All I would need to do is find the title of the widget, and don't be fooled, this might not be the actual title. In order to find it, you can click on the three dots here, click the View Widget option, and the title will pop up here. All we need to do is copy and paste it, like so. and you'll see it pop up like that. We could click on it, hit save, and it should add it right into our box. Now, there is another thing I want to show you that we can add to this report, and it's called a label. So this right here that was included with the default report, this period overview box, is what we call a label. And you see, I could drag it up and down as well. The typical use for a label is two uses. One, you can have a title, like you see here, to section off the report, or two, you can use them to have a text box under or beside your widget to provide more context or even links to other areas or even a file sharing device that you use. If I wanted to add in a label, I could do so. Maybe I want to section this off and call it communications. If I find a green line under or above the widgets, I could click it and you'll just get the option to add a label. You just have to type in your text. So we wanted to call this communications. If I want to make it bigger, I have the heading 1 and heading 2 option here. As you see, it makes the text bigger or smaller. Or I have the option for heading 6, 5, 4. It just gets progressively smaller as the number gets higher. So I like to use heading 1. It's really big. We can even highlight it and bold it if we wanted to, and just hit save. And that will add in our label, like so. And then I have the option to drag it around, you see. If you do want to make a title, I suggest just making it as thin as possible and dragging it all the way across, and you see how it just nicely sections everything off. I could also use a label as a text box, so maybe if I want to explain this widget a little better, I can just click the green line under it, click Add Label, and I can provide more context about this widget, maybe showing, and you see that it just leaves a little context under there as well. Now, another thing I want to show you is that we can add page breaks. So you could tell the, system where you want it to cut off when you're exporting to a PDF. So if I wanted this to be 2 pages, I could just put a cut in the middle, or I could put it right here. And if I just add a page break, for example, under this widget will be on one page and then it'll break, and then everything else will be on the next page. For best practices, I always just add a page break at the end, just to keep things nice and neat on one page if needed. I just put it right there at the end like so. You'll see this nice little line appear, and that's confirmation that the page break is in. Once we're done doing our edits, adding, and manipulations, we could go up to the top here and just make sure to click the Finish button. It doesn't save anything. If you were to exit out, it would save your progress. It's just good practice, again, to click the Finish button. And actually, that brings us to the end of this video. Hope you learned something new about customizing your nice system report or template report a little bit. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.